Do not scroll away just yet. Before you move on, give yourself one quiet moment. If your heart has been carrying a burden you cannot explain, if you've smiled while silently hurting, if you've wondered whether anyone truly sees what you're facing, then stay with me. This is not about coincidence. It is about allowing your heart to become still, long enough to remember a truth that pain often tries to hide. Stay until the end of this message. Let every word settle gently into your spirit. Perhaps you have spent countless nights asking questions that seemed to disappear into silence. You prayed, and nothing appeared to change. You waited, and the waiting became heavier than you expected. You trusted, yet disappointment knocked on your door again and again. Sometimes life becomes so loud that hope begins to whisper. Fear tells you that tomorrow will look exactly like yesterday. Discouragement tells you that nothing will ever change. Weariness tells you to stop expecting anything beautiful. But faith quietly speaks a different language. Faith reminds you that even when you cannot see the sunrise, the morning is still coming. Sometimes the greatest miracles begin long before anyone notices them. A seed beneath the soil appears invisible, yet every single day, life is growing where no eye can see. Maybe your own life feels exactly like that hidden seed. You cannot see progress. You cannot measure growth. You cannot explain why your heart keeps hoping. Yet something inside refuses to completely give up. Hold on to that small spark. Hope does not have to shout. Sometimes it survives as nothing more than one quiet breath that says, "I will keep going." Take a slow breath. Notice how your shoulders have carried tension for far too long. Notice how your mind keeps replaying conversations that already ended. Notice how your heart continues searching for answers that have not arrived. Now imagine placing every burden down, just for this moment. Not because every problem has disappeared, but because your soul deserves a moment of peace. Throughout history, countless people walked through seasons where nothing seemed to make sense. They experienced closed doors, unexpected losses, long seasons of waiting. Yet those difficult chapters did not become the final sentence of their story. Often, they became the place where courage quietly grew. Perhaps you have been measuring your life by what has not happened yet. The opportunity that never came. The relationship that broke your heart. The prayer that still feels unanswered. The dream that seems farther away today than it did yesterday. But your story is bigger than this single chapter. One difficult season cannot define your entire future. One disappointment cannot erase every promise of tomorrow. One painful memory cannot decide who you become. You are still here, that matters. You are still breathing, that matters. Your heart still longs for hope, that matters. Because as long as hope remains alive, the story is still being written. Maybe today you needed someone to remind you that your value is never dependent on how successful you appear, how quickly life changes, or how many people understand your journey. Your worth has never been measured by applause. It has never depended on perfect circumstances. It has never been determined by your hardest day. You are more than your fears, more than your failures, more than your unanswered questions, more than every voice that ever told you to quit. So before you continue with the rest of your day, allow this one truth to settle deeply inside your heart. Darkness may last for a season, but it has never defeated the sunrise. And this is only the beginning. In the next chapter, we'll explore why seasons of waiting can shape us in ways we don't recognize at first, and how hope can quietly grow, even when nothing around us seems to change. Waiting is one of the hardest seasons a heart can endure. Not because nothing is happening, but because so much is happening where your eyes cannot see. There are moments when every prayer feels as though it disappears into silence. Every sunrise looks the same. Every night ends with the same questions. You begin to wonder if hope has forgotten your address. Yet some of the strongest trees in the world spend years growing roots before anyone notices their height. The deeper the roots, the stronger they stand when the storms arrive. Perhaps your life feels hidden right now. Perhaps you look around and see others moving ahead while you remain in the same place. It is easy to compare, easy to become discouraged, easy to believe you have been left behind. But comparison has a quiet way of stealing peace. It convinces you that another person's chapter should become the measure of your own story. Yet every journey unfolds in its own time. Every life carries different lessons. Every heart grows through different seasons. Think about the dawn. Before the first ray of sunlight reaches the earth, the sky often appears darkest. If someone judged the day by those final moments of darkness, they would never believe morning was only seconds away. How often have we done the same with our lives? We have mistaken a difficult season for a permanent destination. We have confused delay with defeat. We have allowed fear to speak louder than hope. Yet history is filled with stories of ordinary people who refused to let one painful chapter become the end of their story. They stumbled, they doubted, they waited. Still, they kept taking one small step forward. Maybe that is all today asks of you. Not 10 giant leaps, not perfect confidence, just one faithful step, then another and another. Even when your strength feels small, small steps still move you forward. Small prayers still matter. Small acts of kindness still change hearts. Small moments of faith still shape tomorrow. Take another slow breath. Release the pressure to have every answer today. Release the fear that everything depends on your own strength. Release the weight of believing you must carry every burden alone. Sometimes peace does not arrive because circumstances suddenly become easy. Sometimes peace arrives because the heart chooses to trust, even while the road remains uncertain. That kind of peace cannot always be explained, but it can be experienced. Fighter Wanabers. If your heart feels tired, rest. If your mind feels overwhelmed, be still. If your spirit feels empty, remember that even an empty cup can be filled again. Your story is still unfolding. There are pages you have not yet read, conversations you have not yet had, doors you cannot yet see, blessings you cannot yet imagine. Do not allow today's uncertainty to convince you that tomorrow has no promise. Every sunrise begins beyond the horizon, before anyone sees its light. Hope often arrives in the same quiet way, almost unnoticed, until suddenly, everything looks different. Take this thought with you as we continue. The waiting may not be empty. It may be preparing your heart for a future that requires more strength, more compassion, and more courage than you realize today. In the next chapter, we will reflect on how healing begins, not all at once, but one quiet moment at a time, and how even broken hearts can learn to hope again. Thank you for sharing this quiet moment. May you leave with renewed hope, lasting peace, and the courage to face tomorrow. Take a deep breath. You are never beyond the reach of God's love. Amen.